I first saw her through the cracked viewport of a derelict ship orbiting the red dwarf of Vega 9. The wreck floated silent and alone, its hull punctured by micrometeorites, its engines cold. My crew and I were scavengers, licensed technically, searching for anything left behind from the old colonial fleets. We'd found wrecks before, but this one was different. It was alive with faint, flickering light, as if the ship itself refused to die. "Looks abandoned for decades," said Rourke, my engineer, as he adjusted his scanner. "But there's an energy reading coming from the central bay." "Let's take a look," I said. We cut through the docking hatch, stepping into darkness so thick it swallowed our suit lights. The air was stale, the kind that tastes of old metal and ghosts. The corridors were lined with a strange organic growth, like vines of glass, pulsing faintly with light. "Bioorganic tech," whispered Rourke. "Never seen anything like it." Neither had I. We followed the energy signal to the core chamber. That's where we found her, curled inside a transparent pod, suspended in a web of shimmering strands that pulsed with blue luminescence. She looked human but not quite. Her skin was pale, almost translucent, and her hair drifted like silver threads in the faint gravity field. Her eyes, closed at first, opened slowly when our lights touched her face. They were bright violet, and they looked straight at me. "Is she alive?" Rourke breathed. Before I could answer, the pod cracked open with a hiss, releasing a wave of warm mist. The girl gasped, clutching her chest, and then with trembling fingers reached out toward me. Her hand brushed against my glove, and in that instant I felt something. Pulse, not from her but inside my mind. A flash of pain, confusion, and something that felt like desperate fear. She whispered something I didn't understand, a word like "Treen." Then she collapsed forward, straight into my arms. We brought her aboard the Wayfinder, our salvage ship. I couldn't just leave her there. Rourke wasn't happy, muttering about contamination protocols, but something in me refused to abandon her. She looked fragile, dying even. I laid her in the med bay, hooked her to oxygen and scanners. The readings made no sense. 2 heart rhythms, both fluctuating out of sync. Her blood carried microscopic filaments of light, moving like tiny living circuits. Hours passed before she woke again. Her eyes found mine and she tried to speak, her voice weak but strangely melodic. "You are not of the colony." "No," I said softly. "You were alone in that wreck. What happened?" She hesitated, eyes distant. "The Ark fell into silence. The stars, they turned away from us." Her words didn't make sense, but her pain did. She looked lost, terrified, and utterly alone. When I reached to check her vitals, she caught my hand and held it tightly, tighter than I thought she could. I felt another surge in my mind. Not words, but emotions. Images. I saw flashes of a shining city orbiting a blue-white star, beings of light working beside humans, a fleet fleeing something vast and dark. Then screams. Fire. Silence. I gasped, tearing my hand free. The connection broke, but the echo of her pain lingered in my chest. "She's not human," I said aloud. Rourke just nodded grimly. "Half the readings say she's machine. The other half say she's something else." Over the next days, she began to recover. I learned her name, or what I could pronounce of it, Elira. She was part of a hybrid species, born of human and alien symbiosis from an ancient alliance. Her people called themselves the Let-Hari, builders of the Vega arcs. But something went wrong, a cosmic event, she said, the eclipse storm, that consumed stars and shattered their minds. She alone had survived, sealed in cryostasis as her ship drifted through centuries of silence. I tried to explain the current world, the fractured colonies, the scavengers, the lost science. She listened with tears in her eyes. So, there are no Lethari left, she asked. None that I know of, I said. She reached for my hand again. This time I didn't pull away. The connection deepened. Each time she touched me I saw more, her memories bleeding into mine. The Lethari had built wonders beyond imagining. Star harbors that sang to gravity itself, gardens that breathed atmosphere into barren moons. And at the center of it all, a single principle. Unity between consciousness and matter. They lived by sharing minds, emotions, even pain. To be Lethari was to never be alone. I began to feel it too. The more time I spent near her, the more I felt her thoughts blending with mine. Her loneliness, her guilt, her hope. It was intoxicating and terrifying. Rourke warned me, said I was getting too close. She's not like us, Captain. You don't know what that connection's doing to your brain. But I couldn't let her go. She was fragile, yet somehow she made me feel alive again. More alive than I had been since the wars ended. Then came the distress signal. A corporate patrol detected the wreck we'd salvaged from, and they wanted to claim it, along with everything we'd taken. Unregistered biotech recovery violates treaty laws. Their transmission blared. Prepare for boarding. Rourke swore. They'll take her, dissect her. I turned to Elira. We have to run. But she shook her head. They will find us. They can sense my signal. The Ark's beacon calls to its makers. Her body began to tremble, light leaking through her veins like cracks in glass. They are coming, she whispered. And they are not human. Outside the viewport the stars shifted. A dark shape emerged. Massive, angular, alive. It wasn't a ship. It was a construct, moving with the grace of a living creature. And it was descending toward us. Elira screamed, collapsing in pain. I caught her again, and this time her hand clamped around mine with impossible strength. The link flared open. I saw everything, the being in orbit, a remnant of the eclipse storm, hunting the last fragment of Lethari consciousness, her. Let me go, she gasped. If I merge with it, the pain will end. No, I said, gripping her tighter. You don't have to face it alone. Her eyes filled with light, her voice barely a whisper. You would share my pain. I didn't hesitate. Yes. The connection erupted. My mind filled with fire, her memories, her suffering, the endless silence of space. I felt her body disintegrating, her energy spilling outward into me, into the ship, into the stars themselves. Pain tore through me, but through it all, she never let go. When I woke, the ship was quiet. The alien construct was gone. So was Elira. Rourke said there'd been a surge of energy that drove the creature away. He'd found me unconscious in the med bay. My hand burned as if fused to something that wasn't there. Weeks passed. The scans of the wreckage showed no trace of her. But sometimes when the ship drifts through dark space, I hear her voice in the calm static. Soft, distant, yet clear. You are not alone, my friend. The Lethari never let go. And when I close my eyes, I still feel her hand. Warm, trembling, refusing to release mine. Even in pain, even in death, even beyond the stars.